Northwest Georgia High School Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Alpha Insurance, Al Smith Agency. See them for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs. Call Al Smith at 706-529-6786.
Hey, welcome into the NWGA Football Friday night. Al Smith, Alpha Insurance Scoreboard. Joined by Benton Burge, Paul Cavan here with us tonight. I'm really just now digesting some scores, man, but I see a message pop up over here that I'm sure Pepperell Dragon fans are excited about. Pepperell 19, Temple 14. How about them Dragons? Region play starts now. And I think their first region game is against who?
Chattooga.
Yep, the Indians. You guys going there, or are they coming to y'all?
Going there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just now digesting some scores here, trying to get everything filled out. But I know you guys were at Chattooga, Murray County tonight, huh?
Yes, sir.
You guys don't have much to say about that one, huh?
It's I don't know what to say. Congratulations to Murray. I mean, they deserved the victory that they got, 28-21.
I agree. Murray County played their tails off. You know, they showed up and got after it and stayed after it all night long, and they deserved the win and they got it.
I was at practice Wednesday, and Coach Gable told his guys, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, they will come in there and beat you, and they did.
Yeah, hats off to Murray County Indians, man. They've matched their win total from all of last year, and they still got a long way to go this year.
Yep.
Maybe they can get a few more under the belt before the season's over. Let's see what we got here. We'll run down the scores that we do have. Carrollton, 47-14 over Jenkins. North Paulding beat Pope, 56-21. Still waiting on a final from East Paulding, South Paulding. Paulding County gets in the win column, 27-20 over Noonan. Villa Rica, 30-12 over Tri-Cities. Hiram, 33-0 over Drew. Dalton, big win over Laster, 56-20. Cartersville shuts out Heritage Conyers, 45-0. Calhoun beats Sonoraville 52-16. Central scores late to beat Northgate, 21-17. Northwest Whitfield hangs on at home to beat Darlington, 21-17. Our Murchie with a big win. A lot of points on the board. 53-10 over Southeast Whitfield.
Yeah.
Daresville, 49-13 over LFO. Bremen, 31-3 over Gordon Lee. Held a tough Gordon Lee team to 3 points. Coahulla Creek, big win, bounce back win for the Colts. 35-0 over Ridgeland.
Yeah, wow.
Ringgold hangs on late, beats Lafayette 13-3. Maybe one of the other big surprises of the night. Like I said, I haven't really looked at it much, but Christian Heritage 29, Pickens 24. Fannin County goes across the mountain and gets beat by Murphy, North Carolina 21-14. Upson Lee beats Haralson County 21-3. The game that I was at, Tryon 31, Model 12. Murray County 28, Chattooga 21. Rockmart goes on the road to Irwin County, beats them 28-16.
Big win.
Raven County 45-14 over Hurd. Score we said earlier, Pepperell 19-14 over Temple. Coosan Towns, I don't know if that's a final, but 42.
It was late game.
Yeah, 42-28 was the last score I saw. 49-15 Bowden over Dade. And Mount Zion takes their first loss of the season to Brookstone, 38-14. Was there any scores that just jump off the screen to you guys?
Yeah, about a half a dozen.
Yeah, that's what me and Bent were talking about before we came on, man. You can't really predict this stuff, you know? I mean, it's crazy. Some of the results we've had this year are completely opposite of what we thought were going to happen, and Mr. Chastain said 3 turnovers equal 21 points for Upson Lee. 3 possessions inside their 35 and only 3 points. Maybe next week. Let's go Rebels.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
quit on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They start region play next Friday night in 7AA, and they have North Murray coming to town. That should be a real good game down there in Haralson County.
Did North Murray have the night off tonight? I didn't see or didn't notice the North Murray score. So
they did.
Okay.
So yeah, let's look at the 6 AAA games, man. Since that was the one region that got underway tonight. Daresville with the win, Bremen with the win, Ringgold, and Coahulla Creek. I think the most surprising win there is that Coahulla Creek 35-0. You know, if you watched our Pick'em show on Wednesday, I picked the Panthers as my upset team of the week, but man, Colts look like the 2022 Colts tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we talked about, I talked to somebody earlier in the day. Coahulla Creek beats Murray 42-13 earlier in the year. Chattooga beats Coahulla Creek, and then Murray comes back and beats Chattooga. I mean, it's just like a lot of crazy stuff. And then same thing kind of with Pickens. Pickens has been up and down. Fannin not as much because we found out that the team that Fannin lost to is a pretty darn good squad over there in Northeast Georgia. But I mean, just teams up and down, and just you don't know which direction they're going to go which week. So,
do we have a Lafayette score on there? Did I miss that?
Yeah, they 13-3. They lost 13-3
to Ringo. Yep.
So Ringo came back. It was 3-0 Lafayette, right?
Yeah, it was 3-0 at the half, and I think Ringo scored late in the fourth to hang on. Book it says Hiram will be at Dalton a week from today. I think it's 2 weeks, maybe. I think it's possibly 2 weeks from today. If I remember right, I'm thinking Cedartown is at Dalton next Friday night.
I got it. I'm in the works. I'm looking right now.
I mean, both of those games are interesting to me. Dalton's looked good early, and I'm pretty high on Hiram. But
yeah, I heard
Dalton
tonight
is at home against Cedartown and then at home against Hiram.
Wow, that's 2 great games right there, back to back.
Yeah, it sure is.
And then you get Woodland on the road, and then you have Cass and Calhoun at home, and then you're at Cartersville to end the year.
How about that 7-5A though, man? There's going to be one real good team that does not make the playoffs. Not just an okay team, but a very good team.
Yeah,
a team that could probably win a first round game.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who to pick as the top 4.
No, I don't either.
But I'm gonna tell you this right now. As much as I've picked against Dalton and they burned me, I'm gonna pick Dalton to make the playoffs, some which way or another. Catamounts are in. You can go ahead and book it, like that guy said. Book it.
Yeah, Jake Keller says Central's 5-0. Been a while since that good of a start. Positive direction going into a bye week before playing Cedartown in 2 weeks, which a lot of people, including myself, think that might be for the region title.
It's early in the year, but I don't disagree. I think that is going to be for your region title.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I like right now in 7-5A. That's starting to turn my head. I didn't really think that much about them the first 2 weeks, but the Purple Hurricanes. I think they've had 2 shutouts in a row back to back, and Cartersville's always got players.
Oh yeah,
coaching, players, fans.
Here's the thing that I'm going to say, and I like Cartersville. I agree. Cartersville is at Calhoun next week. We're going to find out a lot. Find out a lot about both of those schools. And they finished the year at home against Dalton. So, I mean, so there's going to be some shakeup all the way to the end.
There is. And you're going to find out a lot about a lot of teams in the next couple of weeks. I mean, these non-region games are of course, they're big and they're important, but, the next couple of weeks are going to tell a whole lot about a whole lot of these teams.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you could go to any of these region games the next 5 weeks and see a dang good ball game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from single A on up.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out to the Trine Bulldogs tonight, man. I was over at Model watching them, and like I said, they started out slow. Model onside kick right from the start, drove down, kicked a field goal, intercepted a pass on the Bulldogs' next series, drove down, kicked another field goal. Starting to look pretty bleak for the Bulldogs, man. They couldn't move the ball, but then they just started giving it to Maddox in the second quarter. Maddox. I bet he had 100 yards in the second quarter alone. Two 20-plus yard touchdowns. He had a 60-yarder call back on a hold. He did get banged up a little bit at the end of the second quarter, and he did not come back in the second half. But Zach Camp, man, Zach Camp is a dog. I'm telling you. I bet he carried the ball 20 times in the second half, just right up the middle.
This guy says the Dolphins had 375 passing in the first half. Jeez.
Yeah, it was 28-7 when I saw that in the first quarter, I think.
I agree, and I like Dalton, but that's not against Cedartown and Calhoun and Cartersville and Hiram.
Yeah, definitely got to give a big shout out to Color Creek, man, because I, for one, disrespected them this week. I'll admit it. You know, I picked Ridgeland as my upset of the week, and, I mean, they came out tonight and put a 35-0 on them. Impressive.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes a loss like what Cahulla Creek suffered last week is what you need to get on track.
I mean, they didn't play bad. I mean, I didn't feel like they played bad. I mean, they made a few mistakes last week, but I mean, they didn't play bad on the road, even though they lost. You know, close loss.
Yeah, there's a big game coming up this Friday night in 6 AAA. Talking about 6 AAA, not Ridgeland, but Ringgold and Adairsville are playing Friday night. You know, a game that some people think might be for the region title. You know, it's kind of hard to say after tonight. Got a long way to go. Bremen looked good tonight.
I was about to say, don't
have a say.
Don't count Bremen out in that deal. I'm not sure anybody in that region at this point in the season, before region play really gets going good, I'm not sure anybody's kind of put their stamp down as the for sure number one.
Yep. Cahulla tonight looked good. I mean, they could compete. The way that Lafayette played at Ringgold, they could compete for a spot. I will say Adairsville looked pretty good tonight. I think they jumped out pretty quick on LFO. I think it was 35-0 at halftime, maybe.
That is correct.
But I agree with you. We'll find out about them next Friday, huh?
I agree. I tell you what, from what I've seen through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, Lafayette's defense is for real.
Yeah, I think Lafayette Gordon Lee could be a very good game, and I agree with him. It's potentially an early playoff elimination game.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think next week. Yeah, so you got Lafayette and Gordon Lee, Adairsville, Ringgold, and the other one would be Bremen and Ridgeland. Yeah. Yeah. How about the 7A schedule for next Friday night? I know we said Chattooga was at Pepperell. You have Coosa at R. Murchie.
Yep.
Well,
Trine's off. I think Trine's off.
So yeah, that means Dade and Darlington will be matching up.
Yep. Probably a good thing for Trine that they're all.
Yeah, let's see what this guy. Bowden at Temple next Friday night. I know Temple's looking to get back in the win column, man. 2 losses in a row for them. Bowden might not be the team to do it, but I mean, you got to play who's on your schedule.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best thing about that region that Temple's in, though. There's only 3 teams, so no matter what happens, you're going to make – there's 4 teams, so no matter what happens, you're going to make the playoffs.
Well, same thing with Bowden.
Yeah, so the key is just get better, try to stay healthy. That's the main thing.
It is. But I'll go back to it one more time. Pepperell opened my eyes up a little bit tonight. I did not expect Pepperell to win that ball game. I know I had to work Wednesday night and missed the Pick'em show, but I would have picked Temple to beat Pepperell, and I would have been wrong. So at this point in the season, if I could revise some of my picks, I think Pepperell is battling for the number 2 spot and a home playoff game in 7A D1.
Who do you like in that 4 spot right now? I'm gonna put you guys on the spot.
Dade County.
Starting up. Dade County.
Chattooga, Armurchie, and Coosa are eliminated.
I'm not gonna go that far on all those schools, but I would favor. I think I would favor Dade in the 4 seed right now.
I have to say the Armurchie Indians look pretty good tonight, putting up 53 points, man. But then they gave up 50 last week, so you don't know. We'll find out a lot Friday night when they host Coosa. And I think Armurchie has a big 2 weeks coming up because they get Coosa and then they go to Chattooga.
Yeah.
And that's 2 games they have to win if they want to slide into that number 4 spot.
Absolutely.
And like I said, the most recent score we got was Coosa was 42-28 over Towns late in the game.
I'll give it another check just to see if
I figured they were going to get done late, man, because I was at a Walmart here in Rome at 5:15 when the Coosa buses drove by. I'm like, man, they going all the way to Towns County at 5:15 in the afternoon.
That game, if that's true, Lawrence, that game did not kick off at 7:30.
There's no way. I don't know if it was a band or what, but there were 3 Floyd County buses coming in from 27 West. It had to be Coosa buses.
42-28 was your final.
Coosa Eagles off to a 3-1 start, man. I'm not sure what they did against those teams last year, but I don't think they were 3-1 at this point.
Give me 1 second, and I'll tell you.
Computer man over there.
Let's see here. Just a few more clicks away.
Yeah, like I said, I want to give another shout out to Zach Camp, man. Super impressive tonight. Like I said, I haven't figured out the stats yet. I'm going to figure them out, but I guarantee
I don't know how many carries he had, but he had over 100.
I guarantee you he carried the ball over 20 times.
He had over 100 yards. I'm pretty sure of that. I think they said that on the broadcast.
Coosa was 2-2 when they went to region play last year, and they beat Armurchie to go to 3-2.
Yeah, I know there was one stretch there, Paul, where Zach carried the ball maybe 6 or 7 times in a row. I mean, just right up the middle, and he's not the tallest guy in the world.
Yeah,
I mean he's
a bowling ball.
Yeah. But he would get hit, head on right back, try it again.
Well, that Trine team's physical across the board, and they've got some athletes to go with it. And after what they did to Model tonight, especially with Maddox out in the second half, they're going to roll until they get Darlington week 10. They're not going to. I'm going to go ahead and go on record. Trine will not have a close ball game until they play Darlington week 10.
It's our man Vortex right here. If you guys have never seen Vortex on YouTube, Big Dalton Catamount fan, man, has a little weekly YouTube show. But he said, you want to know who the playmakers are for Dalton? The entire offensive line. Best quarterback in the region based on stats. 6'5" tight end. 6'6" tight end D-end. Unstoppable. He says the Cedartown game, Cedartown's going to get beat down.
Gotta love it.
It's not as outlandish as it would have been 5 weeks ago, that comment. But
no.
I've said it a few times. I'm going to say it again. Pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, I have to know what his I'd like to know what his definition of beatdown is. Is beatdown 10 points or is beatdown 40 points? Jake Keller wants to know if we think Cedartown will be 1-4 heading into region play after the next game in Dalton. We have to tune into the Pick'em show on Wednesday to find out for sure. But as of right now at this moment, if somebody put me on the spot, I would take Cedartown. but I have to go back and look at it.
I think it's a coin flip.
I think a lot of these games we're picking now, we need a magic crystal ball because I mean, I feel like this year is more topsy turvy than any in recent memory of just not knowing who's going to show up and what the result's going to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I think if you go back and look at the results for Cedartown so far this year, it hadn't been that bad.
No,
You know, they beat Rockmart, who beat Cass, who just got through beating Irwin County tonight. They lose to Calhoun in a close one. They were in that game until late in the fourth quarter. They lost to Sequoia by a few with 3 of their stars out. Then they went down to Callaway, the number 1 team in Class A or Class 2A, wherever Callaway's at.
2A.
And lost to them by, 10, 12 points? But, I mean, then on the flip side, look what Dalton's done too. You know, Dalton's played really well.
Absolutely. And I mean, and you know, I don't mean this negative towards anybody, but Cedartown does not look at a 4 or 6 or 8 point loss to a 2A number 1 team as a positive.
No, not at all.
I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but losing to Callaway by a close score is not a positive.
No, especially when they beat them by 44 last year.
Yeah.
Pepperell got a huge 4th down stop inside their own 1, then busted a quarterback sneak coming out for probably 30 yards. That was a big momentum stretch for the Dragons. Like I said, a great first win for the Dragons, man. I know they're excited.
Yeah, no, that's a huge first win. I mean, there's a lot of conversation about Pepperell going into region play at 0-4 possibly, and you know what kind of momentum they were going to have. And after tonight, I think that talk's gone away. I think Pepperell's going into region play with some momentum, and I think Pepperell has a shot to compete.
Yeah, you know, I was telling Benton before we came on, one of the things that impressed me about them tonight was that they got it done with their defense. You know, I thought if they're going to win that game, they're going to have to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
But, you know, because they scored a lot of points last week. And I said, man, if they don't score this week, they probably won't win. But defense stepped up.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, they got one of the best linebackers down there.
Jensen. Yeah, Jensen's a heck of a ball player.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out number 44 for trying to. We're talking about that. DE, tight end. Absolute beast, man. He had a couple of sacks tonight. He was lighting people up. Pass breakup. I always get, is it Stokes or Stoker?
Stokes.
Stoker's the linebacker.
Stoker's the linebacker. Stokes is the tight end defensive end.
And Cohen Blasky. Is that his name, Cohen?
Cohen Blasky, number 20, linebacker / backup running back.
Yeah, he had a 22-yard touchdown run tonight. I accidentally tweeted out Cody Blasky, and his mom sent me a message.
Better get the name right.
Quick on that thing, too, man. She was there about 25 seconds after I texted out. It's Cohen. Okay.
Yeah. They're loaded, man. I'm telling you. They're loaded across the board. And I know it's early and I want to go week to week, but I'm ready for Darlington trying last game of the year. And Chattooga's off that week, so I don't have to call the game on the radio. So I will definitely be at trying for Darlington at trying.
Yep. I kind of hope the Tigers go undefeated too in the region, so it'll be a game like last year, which was a championship on the final week of the season.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, but you can't tell now in 7A. There could be anybody sitting right there in that 2 spot. I mean, we're talking about Chattooga and Armurchie and Coosa. Heck, they're liable to be sitting in the 2 spot before the season's over.
No.
He said no.
No.
He said no.
No. They're going to be sitting in the 5, 6, and 7 spot.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Juju still hasn't thrown an interception all year. Had 11 touchdown passes going into the game tonight.
Oh, wow.
He probably added 4 or 5 tonight.
We have about 5 more minutes, man. I'm going to ask you what y'all think about this. Juju Lewis having a documentary on HBO. What do you think about a high school sophomore having cameras follow him around?
I think that's the way it's going.
I mean, for what? I mean,
marketability, man. It's going to make him probably going to increase his value as far as the NIL goes in the future. And
I mean, that's the way things are going. I mean, you gotta embrace it, or you gotta, whatever. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. Good for Juju. I like Juju. Look forward to following him for his entire career, and hope he does wonderful things. But that's just the way it is.
I'm just glad they didn't have that kind of stuff when I was in school, man. Because if cameras would have followed me around when I was in high school, it'd have been terrible.
Didn't he commit to USC already?
Yeah, he's already committed to USC.
Oh, he don't play defense, so they're not going to win anything. Was that a jab at the Pac-12 or / Big Ten? I guess.
They ain't a Pac-12 anymore.
Yeah, when they go to that new conference next year and lose 5 games, what are we gonna do then?
Everybody's got some bold predictions tonight.
Oh boy. No, I mean, yeah.
So Jake Keller said followed him last year, and we followed him all through his senior year. So they're going to be with him his whole high school career. The documentary's already sold to Warner Brothers, from what I hear.
Oh wow, that's cool. Hey, go back a couple comments there, Lawrence. I like that.
Yeah, Lawrence, Benton, and Paul, I enjoy the show so much. I appreciate y'all's coverage of high school football in our area. I love Dalton more than anything. He says he'll try to comment each week.
That's awesome.
Yep. Thank you.
That's awesome. That right there is the reason why all 3 of us do what we do, because we feel the same way.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of that, I'm going to jump back into the Al Smith Alpha Insurance scoreboard and run over those scores one time. We've been blabbing for about 30 minutes. We ain't talking scores. Carrollton, 47-14 over Jenkins. North Paulding gets a 56-21 win over Pope. Still don't have a final on the East Paulding, South Paulding. We'll look for that here in a second. Paulding County gets a big win over Noonan, 27-20. Villa Rica, 30. Tri-Cities, 12. Hiram, I'm not sure if it was a final. Last we had was 33-0 over Drew. Dalton, another big win, 56-20 over Lassiter. Cartersville, 45. Heritage Conyers, 0. Calhoun beats their next door neighbor 52-16. Sonorville. Northgate. Central scores late to beat Northgate 21-17. Northwest Woodfield 21. Darlington 17. Armurchie big over Southeast Woodfield 53-10. Daresville 49. Lakeview 13. Bremen 31, Gordon Lee 3. Coahulla Creek with a big win, 35-0 over Ridgeland. Ringo comes back and beats Lafayette 13-3. Christian Heritage 29, Pickens 24. Murphy, North Carolina 21, Fannin County 14. Upson Lee 21, Harrelson County 3. Trine 31, Model 12. Murray County 28. Chattooga 21, Rockmart 28, Irwin County 16, Rabun County beats Heard County 45-14, Pepperell 19-14 over Temple, Coosa with a 42-28 win over Towns County, Bowden goes to Magic Morgan and wins 49-15 over Dade County, and Brookstone wins at Mount Zion 38-14. You said Brookstone is a ranked GISA team or something like that?
GIAA or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the alternative league is.
Yep. And we have a final from East Paulding, South Paulding. East Paulding beat South 21-6.
21-6.
Huge win for East Paulding.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I want to thank Al Smith again for sponsoring this year. And I want to tell him, man, I really enjoyed watching his son play tonight. Heck of a ball player, man. Tough kid.
Yeah, for sure.
He got pulled down by his face mask tonight, man. He got back up. You could tell he was shook up a little bit. Didn't even come out for a play.
Well, he started playing as a starter about halfway through his freshman year. So, he's got almost 3 solid years as a starting quarterback. Starting as a freshman after about game 5. So he knows the offense. He knows the guys he's handing the ball to and throwing the ball to.
Yeah, so I guess you guys will be at Pepperell next weekend, huh? You guys will be making the trip to.
I'm on vacation.
Jordan. Oh, you're on vacation. You going to the beach?
I'll be kicked back at the beach, and I'll be watching the live streams and catching up with you guys. But I'm going to be on vacation. I'm going to be sipping some drinks with some umbrellas in them and watching you guys do your thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be in Pepperell next week. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to end up next Friday night. I told my son I might take him out here to the homecoming. To the Coosa game, Coosa or Murchie game. Well, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, guys, thanks for joining us, man. We'll be back on this week for our Pick'em show. I'll download this episode here to a podcast so you can tell your wife tomorrow that you're listening to a self-help video, and you can hear us on the podcast. All right, guys.
Till next